Quick Friday afternoon update on the weather situation out there. It's hot, it's humid. It has been the warmest day of the week so far here across central Alabama. Birmingham has made it all the way up to 91 degrees today. So yeah, it's been hot, and we are priming the atmosphere for some locally heavy thunderstorms. And you can see those here just before 3:30 p.m. on WVTM 13 live Doppler radar. They are headed toward northwest Alabama, but they're doing it very, very slowly. You can probably already see the clouds and maybe even hear some of the thunder here around parts of Marion County and Lamar County in northwest Alabama. Those thunderstorms tracking toward the southeast at around, say, 20 to 25 miles per hour. Benefit of the doubt, will split the difference right around 22 miles per hour. It's going to take it fairly close to an hour and a half to get past Hamilton, get down toward the Shiloh area, Barnesville, 4:21 p.m., Tremont, Mississippi, 3:47 p.m. So given that kind of timeline, I don't think it's necessarily the movement of the storms that we have to be more concerned about here in central Alabama so much as what's going on with the development of these storms. Now, what's going on is there's a very small boundary sitting right about there, very close to I-22 in northwest Alabama and eastern Mississippi, and it extends down toward the Birmingham metro area too. So what we are probably going to see here over the next, say, hour to 2 hours, between now and 5 o'clock, is a continued development of storms in a line that looks something like this, where the individual storms are tracking toward the east or maybe just a little bit east of southeast at close to 20 or 25 miles per hour. So they're not moving all that fast, but they are dumping a lot of rain, and some of them potentially could be severe through the afternoon. Watch the satellite imagery, the clouds just exploding along that boundary today, and sometimes it's just these very tiny differences in temperature and humidity where this happens. So for the rest of the day, at least for the rest of the afternoon, North Mississippi, Northwest Alabama through Central Alabama, Fayette, Walker, Lamar, Tuscaloosa, Jefferson, Bibb, Shelby, Green, Hale, Sumter, Pickens counties will be on our guard for a few locally heavy thunderstorms. Timing-wise, and it's tough when we're dealing with scattered storms, so I don't want you to think, well, I'm in the zone here, so it's definitely going to rain at my house. Not how it's going to work for us. The best chance of a thunderstorm that could be potentially severe through 8 p.m. over northwestern Alabama, and then the risk of a storm or two begins to diminish a little bit between 6 and 10 p.m. up here toward Aniana, Pell City, Gadsden, Oxford. There still may be some in this area, but not quite as many as we have, say, in the slight risk from Jefferson County and Shelby County westward through Tuscaloosa County. Between, say, now and 10 p.m. is when we'll be looking at the greatest chance of a storm. And if they hold together, and it's a pretty big if, I don't know that they're going to get all the way down here toward Auburn and Roanoke and Lafayette, but if they do, that would be roughly the time of arrival right there, after 9 p.m. or so. So here's the Futurecast. Watch what happens here. Boy, do we have some fuel, a lot of cape out there. And it hasn't been realized yet today because there's a little cap sitting over central Alabama, but that boundary is helping to break that cap. So there go the thunderstorms between 6, 7, 8 o'clock this evening. And then they gradually start building farther down toward the south, over Marengo County and Wilcox County, and down toward Butler County and Crenshaw County in southeast Alabama. Early in the morning, another batch of heavy thunderstorms. And this is that updraft helicity product. See that little spin that develops? That's a tall updraft that's rotating. Does not mean a tornado. It just means that any storms that form in this zone tomorrow morning, that's why we've got an impact day up for Saturday, because they could be pretty stout. And then look at this. Through midday and early afternoon Saturday, if you got outdoor plans in Birmingham, Huntsville, Decatur, Lake Gunnersville, Lookout Mountain, Sand Mountain, Anniston, Oxford, Mount Cheaha, Tuscaloosa, Fayette, Jasper, Hamilton, I think we're okay. The best chance of thunderstorms will be down in this area through the afternoon and early evening, but then watch what happens. 3 o'clock, we get some isolated downpours, and then unlike the last few days where the storms have been coming in from the northwest, we may get a little development up here in some of the mountainous areas of northeast Alabama Saturday evening. Sometimes it's the mountains themselves that cause that, so those would back toward the southwest. So here's one other suite of model guidance called the Graph, and it's produced by WSI IBM. Not a lot happening Saturday afternoon, a few locally heavy thunderstorms, and look how, man, they just race down toward the southeast. Look at that. Another big complex of storms headed down towards South Alabama late Saturday night. And then this one, This is the one that we've been talking about for days now, thinking that it could be a very significant derecho. Now, where does it go? Yesterday, we thought maybe it takes a path that's something more like this right here. Today, on Friday, it looks like that path may end up being something more like this. So the Alabama Gulf Coast may be in line for another major storm again. Watch this, 6 a.m. Saturday. Now, the graph keeps it farther north, which was kind of the original thought. So we do have to be mindful of this, that if these storms are in this position, it drastically changes the forecast on Sunday, and we may not have much Sunday afternoon. But if the storms actually follow more closely to what the GFS guidance suggests, we're not going to get all that much rain, especially Birmingham, Huntsville, Albertville, Fort Payne, Gadsden, Anniston, Aniana. Not a whole lot coming up on Sunday morning. But then the next showers, and remember, you're looking at a model that thinks we've got rain-cooled air all the way around in here. That probably doesn't really exist. So what we see is a new development of thunderstorms Sunday afternoon and Sunday evening in that zone. Here's our 7-day forecast. We're going Saturday afternoon, the high up to 89 degrees, a chance of locally heavy storms again, the greatest chance of any severe weather across central and southwestern Alabama, in particular close to the Gulf Coast. If you have plans at the Gulf Coast, you're at the coast, or you're headed that way, we got a few more stormy days ahead. The slight risk from the Storm Prediction Center here for Sunday. Now, you got to think of this in terms of multiple waves of storms. That first wave is the reason that we have the slight risk up. So this is the reason the Storm Prediction Center has the slight risk up for frequent lightning. Well, that's not technically severe, but damaging wind gusts, hail, flash flooding, and then a whole lot of lightning could come with this. That's one of the reasons you get a big impact from storms, lightning, but that doesn't technically make it severe. Round one on Sunday probably does a little something like this right here. That zone is most likely. Margin of error is all up in here. So we'll see what happens. Walker, Jefferson, Shelby, Chilton, Montgomery County, Wiregrass. It just remains to be seen. Round two would be noon to midnight, and that's where we get the storms redeveloping. And then next week is just more. They probably won't be quite as intense. An area of low pressure sitting close by just kind of churns up showers and storms every day. So we'll just have to keep our eyes peeled.